watching CBS 8 Mornings at 6.
We begin with a weather impact alert as rain arrives this morning. Thanks for being here at 6 a.m. I'm Eric Connert.
And I'm Netta Iranpour. It's already raining in parts of San Diego. This got a lot of us excited just because it's been quite a while. Wintry weather now. Meteorologist Evan Irani. What a concept, right? In the month of February.
And that's the thing is this is like kind of just a short-lived round of wet weather in the forecast. It's going to be done by the time we get to the afternoon. But it is allowing for some showers as we start off the morning. So on the next 12-hour forecast, you can see how from now through about 10 a.m., that's where we're favoring the bulk of that rainfall, starting from North County and moving south as the morning progresses. But we've already started to see a lot of those outer bands begin, mainly up around North County. So you can see what that looks like on satellite radar. Coming up, we're going to be talking more about what the rest of the day looks like. You can see how that bulk of rain is just starting to arrive. And then we'll be dry toward the afternoon and into your Valentine's Day. Details are in a few. As always, you can find an extended weather forecast on the CBS 8 app. Stream now for free.
I hope they get the suspect, because I'm not it. They better do their job and find the suspect that did it so they can clear my name. I'm done.
New this morning, a man was just released after being detained in the search for Nancy Guthrie, mother of Today's Show host Savannah Guthrie. The delivery driver says he was questioned after a traffic stop. This happened hours after the FBI released new images and video of a masked and armed individual. Captured the night Nancy Guthrie was taken from her Tucson area home. And this morning, 7 people are dead after a school shooting in northern Canada. Authorities say 2 other deaths at a nearby house are believed to be connected. The suspected shooter was also found dead from what appeared to be a self-inflicted injury. 25 others were hurt. Tumbler Ridge is a small town in British Columbia.
Also new this morning, the Federal Aviation Administration has closed airspace around El Paso, Texas, and a large area of southeastern New Mexico for 10 days. Notices issued by the FAA have classified the areas as national defense airspace and prohibit commercial and general aviation activity under threat of deadly force. El Paso's city government says the situation, quote, appears to be security related. This morning, leaders from San Diego Unified School District are in Sacramento to push for investments in special education.
And this comes ahead of a planned teacher strike over special education staffing. CBS 8's Jenny Day live at district headquarters now with what officials are asking for here today. Jenny.
Good morning to you both. So the superintendent and Board of Education vice president are meeting with state leaders today. They are advocating for more money for special education and overall asking that money not be withheld from schools. Again, they are asking for increased funding to support early intervention efforts and want students with disability to have the extra help they need, especially at that young age in transitional kindergarten through 3rd grade. San Diego Unified has a vision to build a tiered support system. The goal, of course, is to see every child thrive with the necessary support. They say earlier, targeted intervention with behavioral and social emotional support could make all the difference. Their suggestion is to appropriate $250 million from Proposition 98 to implement the idea statewide. Some of that funding would go toward equipping teachers with more tools and strategies to address the diverse needs of their students. Things like IEPs, individualized education programs, would only be used if all else fails.
Receive the 40% we were promised, our district wouldn't even have a budget deficit. Our children would have early interventions. We would be able to meet the needs of our families and our students in a very different way. We're taking $275 million different pots of money to make up the difference, and it is not fair to our children and families.
So again, coming up on February 26th, there will be a one-day strike, all to support special education staffing. To give you a better idea, here locally at San Diego Unified, it is 1 teacher to 20 students, but many other cities, it's closer to 1 teacher to 28 students. So San Diego Unified is actually honoring this strike and will be closing all schools on Thursday, February 26th. Also, certainly keep it here to find out what happens today in Sacramento. Jenny Day, CBS 8.
Jenny, thank you. This morning, some people in Chula Vista are rallying behind the city's chief of police, Roxana Kennedy.
This comes as she claims that city leaders are trying to push her out. CBS 8's Chris Grow live in Chula Vista now with the developments. Good morning, Chris.
Yeah, good morning. So where things stand right now, we know that the city has been served with what's called a preservation letter by Chief Kennedy's lawyers. And we know that at last night's city council meeting that there were some people who spoke out in favor of Chief Kennedy. Now, some people at that city council meeting, or maybe even some people watching right now, may not realize that the city and Chief Kennedy are at somewhat of a dispute. So we're working for you here to break this all down and get you to where this all started. So this actually goes back to last weekend when word of that preservation letter and allegations came out, revealing that both sides were at a conflict. Chief Kennedy is alleging that the department and the city is attempting to push her out in favor of a male Latino chief. Chief Kennedy's lawyer also claims they're using an incident at a union party that happened in December of last year as a pretext, as the reason to push her out. We did reach out to the city for comment about the allegations last week, and a spokesperson called them entirely unfounded and deeply offensive by its very nature, end quote. Now, as for what some are saying in public at a city council meeting, here's a collection of what we heard.
In a time where we're seeing divisions across the country, even in our state, I think Chula Vista has been a model city because of you guys, because of our community members. But what is best for our children? What is best for our cities? And I think we know Chief Kennedy has been a blessing. She's been a force in our community. And I think that nobody can question that.
Now, it should be noted that the situation involving Chief Kennedy and the city manager, that was not on the agenda, but we still heard some make use of public comment, again, non-agenda items to talk about the situation. As for where she is, well, she's currently on medical leave, says that she has no plans to retire at this time. Again, that preservation letter asks the city to preserve any and all evidence related to the conflict and to not delete or get rid of anything. Back to you in studio.
All right, Chris, thank you very much. Now, this just in, moments ago, the FAA now has lifted the closure of airspace over El Paso, Texas. We just told you about this. This was issued overnight. All flights at this moment are now set to resume there. This also just into the newsroom here. U.S. employers added 130,000 jobs in the month of January. This is according to new data from the Labor Department that just came in. The unemployment rate is now 4.3%, but the report also had major revisions, cutting the number of jobs created last year to 181,000, the weakest since 2020.
All right, let's check in on that rain that's fallen in parts of the county right now here. How much are we expecting to get here, Evan?
Up around North County from about Del Mar up through the county border, we can expect about ½ an inch in total. So decent accumulations. South of Del Mar and east of the coastline, we're looking at much lighter accumulations, between about 1/10 of an inch up to maybe 1/4 of an inch. So really light stuff expected in the forecast, and this is going to be a quick moving storm because we are looking at it leaving our hair by the time we get to about the afternoon stretch, which is a plus side for anyone who's worried about the evening commute. Take a look at how those rainfall estimates look by the time we get to 10 a.m. 7/10 of an inch, a little bit higher than that ½ inch marker in Fallbrook, Carlsbad, and Escondido, all the way down through Del Mar. But as you get to San Diego, we're at ½ an inch. Chula Vista, about just over 1/4 of an inch, maybe 1/3 of an inch. And then getting into Alpine, much lighter accumulation. Same goes for Ramona, under ½ an inch. By the time we get through the day, some of those showers could linger over toward our local inland valleys and mountains. And that's where we have the best opportunity for maybe a little bit of afternoon activity to kind of linger. So from last night into early this morning, we've got some light to moderate showers favoring areas west of the mountains. Isolated thunderstorms cannot be ruled out, though it's not all that likely that we get anything too tremendous. If we do see any, they're favoring North County. Slick roads from oil coming up, minor ponding on the roads possible, so please take some caution as you head out for the morning commute and even for the evening commute if those roads are still wet. Today is a standalone day of rain, and then that chance for rain drops off steadily from Thursday through about Sunday. Look at what happens as we get toward the beginning of next week, climbing potentially into the 90% range with more rain on the way. Vanessa Paz checking in on traffic as those roads start to get a little wet out there.
Yeah, slick to say the least. So this is the 5 in both directions at Oceanside Boulevard. Man, it was just working a moment ago. But let's go ahead and switch gears and see. Of course, this one's also frozen. So here's the deal. The visibility. Okay. now it's kind of getting going again. You could see that visibility reduced as the roads are slick this morning, and the cars. It also looks like the cars are going pretty fast. All right, so it looks like there are a few crashes in the North County. We have a couple on the 5, and we're also getting reports of roadway flooding on the 78 West right at the 5 connector. So moral of the story, it's quite a mess out there, especially when we talk about the 5 near the 76 and the 78 this morning. We're tracking a couple of crashes on the 5. We have one on the northbound end at Palomar Airport Road, and then we have another one on the 5 South right at Encinitas Boulevard. You can see that we're all in the green though, and again, we're still pretty early at about 6:10. Not a lot of cars on the freeways right now, but again, as this rain continues, you can expect it to be pretty messy out there, especially in the North County. Overall, speeds are in pretty good shape, especially when it comes to the South Bay. To get you across to Coronado Island would take you about 52-mile-per-hour speeds to get across the bridge there, and then on the 5 and the 805, we're at average speeds of about 70 miles per hour. It looks like the 54 is pretty bottlenecked right now to get to the 5. Not sure what's going on with that. I didn't see a crash on the CAD there, but you may want to just brace yourself for slowing. And then, of course, in the North County, we're just really worried right now about those crashes on the 5 and then that flooding on the 78. So just make sure that you're giving yourself extra time as you head out the door and taking it slower than normal on those freeways. All right, 6:11 is the time. Let's go ahead and take a look at your border wait times and pull those up. We're tracking about an hour 40 to get you across from San Ysidro's port of entry, and pretty much the same, a little more east of that direction coming in from Otay Mesa.